I will knock you out cold in front of all your friends on the couch. A lot of people in this business need to be humbled, and he's one of them. His ego's out of control.
So it's getting heated between Andrew Schultz and Jeff Wittek. Now, there's a couple of interesting things here. First off, there's a lot of suspicion that this feud is actually fake, which I'll give my thoughts on. And I also have an idea why Schultz might have some animosity towards Jeff if this whole thing is real. So this all started a few days ago over on the Flagrant Patreon, where Schultz decided to roast Jeff Wittek, saying that he's bitching too much about his eye injury, also saying that he's the one that hung from the crane and shouldn't still be upset since the injury came from doing something stupid. Basically, his point is, do stupid things, win stupid prizes.
Is he still crying about that, dude? Why is that guy still crying about that? I got hit by a crane and I'm blind now. It's like, get over it. But seriously, why is he still whining about that? What's the deal?
I guess he went blind or almost blind from it.
But now he's not blind, right?
I'm not sure. I think he has to keep going through more surgeries, but I don't know the stats.
So David Dobrik knocked him with a crane or something?
I guess. I don't know.
Spun him around on a crane.
But he agreed to do it?
Yeah, but he didn't know how fast it was going to go.
You were just his dumbest friend that he selected to do it. He's not asking the smart friend. He's asking the idiot who's willing to get hit in the head by the crane.
Jesus Christ.
Right? Maybe that's why he's upset. Yeah. Like when he woke up, he realized, oh, I was the only one enough to do this trick. And then we still got to hear him cry about it. Right?
If you hear of someone hanging from a crane and getting a serious injury, it's easy to see Schultz's point of view, but there's more to the story. For those of you who don't know Jeff Wittek, he's a YouTuber and podcaster. A few years ago, he had an accident where he was hanging from a crane, which was being operated by his former friend David Dobrik. It ended with him being smashed into the side, resulting in a serious head injury and almost losing his eye. The guy is actually lucky to be alive. He's constantly getting eye surgery, so it's been a long road to recovery. And Jeff and David shortly fell out after this, and Jeff is actually suing Dobrik, and recently he's been taking shots at him on Twitter. So a lot of people sided with Jeff, because if you watch the video, David is swinging this thing pretty fast, and it looks like he's speeding up before abruptly slowing down at the end, which resulted in the accident. Jeff mentioned that the agreement was for David to move the crane slowly, but that's clearly not what happened. And so due to this guy's negligence, Jeff almost lost his life and sustained injuries that he's going to have for the rest of his life. But the kicker is that David eventually turned around and insinuated that Jeff was at fault.
He said that it was my fault. David blamed me for the crane. He insinuated that I was crazy. I always want to push it. And I'm the reason that this happened. There's 20 people on the beach that are witnesses. I have 6 terabytes of footage of you asking me, begging me to go out there and do the thing again, and that you would spin it slow. You just want to take me out there because it's more scenic and it looks better on camera. It's more cinematic. But imagine you smash somebody's skull in. They take it on the chin. They don't sue you. I would nearly die. I came an inch from death and an inch from going blind. I'll have lifelong brain injuries and save them from everything. You would have got deported. You would have got put in jail for manslaughter. You could have got sued for everything. I took it on the chin, and then to see this, and that just made me completely lose all respect for this guy.
So of course a lot of people sympathize with Jeff, but I mean, Jeff also shouldn't get a free pass. I'm sure most of us who've seen the clip is wondering what the hell is this guy thinking being up there. A lot of people have compared it to a situation like Jeff being the passenger of a car crash where David is the driver, but I think it's more like instead of Jeff being in the car, he's riding on the roof. But still, I would put the blame on David because he's swinging that crane as if there isn't a human being on the end of it. And apparently he did it to swing Jeff off the crane, so it was supposed to be a prank, which clearly went wrong. Now, it looks like the guys on the couch also sympathize with Jeff, apart from Alex, who has no idea who he is, but Mark and Akash, you can tell, don't agree with Schultz, but they kind of just sit there and awkwardly giggle as Schultz goes on this rant. Once again, this just shows how they're willing to go along with him even if they disagree. Whenever Schultz has a bad take or just acts like a complete dickhead, no one checks him. So after Jeff hears about this, he's of course pissed off. He calls out Schultz on George Janko's podcast.
But this past week, Andrew Schultz started yapping, saying, oh, when the is Jeff Wittek going to shut the up about it? You dumb, arrogant, egotistical motherfucker. I will knock you out cold in front of all your friends on the couch. Those
allegedly.
punks.
I mean, listen,
No,
this
not
is
allegedly.
active.
The only thing that pisses me off is those dumbass comments, and to see it from a peer, somebody I thought was my friend, like actually yapping and saying real disrespectful fighting words, then, you know, I haven't had that. I haven't had a beef online.
Yeah.
So to have him do that and hide it behind
a paywall on Patreon.
Yeah.
And then of course my supporters, they'll find it and send it to me. So I was pissed when I saw it. I would love to see him at like a UFC event and just slap the shit out of him.
Fair.
Those are some pretty big shots. First, he calls him out on his ego, which a lot of people have noticed about Schultz. If you've been following this channel, you'd be familiar with me mentioning his overinflated ego. I even made a video of the biggest egos in the Roganverse, and of course, Schultz is right there at the top. And funny enough, I used the Steiny interview drama as one of the reasons which Jeff also mentions here.
A lot of people in this business need to be humbled, and he's one of them. His ego's out of control. Even the shit he did with Steiny, like, bro, who the fuck do you think you are? Like telling these kids, like, I'm too cool for this podcast.
He then brings up the awkward Shane Gillis episode where Shane actually stops to check Andrew and his backup singers when they were making fun of a guy with Down syndrome.
I would never make fun of somebody with a disability or something that happened to them. And they do that a lot. They had Shane Gillis on. They started making fun of autistic people. You know, that's punching down. You shouldn't have to do that when you're at that level.
So Jeff's definitely been up to date with all the hate Flagrant's been getting online. When it comes to Schultz, this rant could have just been out of pure ignorance. The guys likely don't know the full story, which Akash admits, so he does the right thing and chooses not to comment on it.
And then we still got to hear him cry about it. Right?
I guess so.
Yeah, no, I can't not support you. It's improv, you know? Yes, and.
What, do you think it's like...
I don't know enough. I just know David Dobrik was seemingly not very well liked.
Yeah, but he could be a piece of shit too.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know if Jeff is a piece of shit. I don't think he's a piece of shit. But
He's
it is
just
enough.
annoying?
It's just enough with it. Like, come
Man, Akash looks at Schultz the way a kid looks at Santa Claus. It's kind of adorable. But anyways, it's strange that Mark didn't have more to say since he had Jeff on his podcast where they spoke for nearly 3 hours. Jeff brought up the accident and how he lost friends over it, so it's a little weird that Mark wouldn't speak up and explain more of the backstory. Now, the reason this could have kicked off is because Schultz might have had some animosity towards Jeff since he made this video where he gave Steiny the Schultz haircut.
Andrew, if you're watching, I think it's cool that you're trying to bring in like a weird style, you know? I support that, especially being a comedian and you're opening yourself up to criticism and jokes and saying, yo, did your barber forget to fade that shit in? I see all the comments, you know, and I think it's f***ing hilarious. I don't think the haircut's gonna catch. And that's coming from me. I'm the guy who single-handedly brought back the mullet.
I kind of want to bring back the Schultz, bro.
Give it up. Get it faded in. I'm going to fade it in because I can't
I
look
want
at
to
this.
rock the Schultz.
No, I won't let you do
Why?
that, honestly.
Only he can rock it?
You don't want to have that.
So here they kind of take jabs at Schultz, nothing serious, and Schultz must have people clowning his haircut all the time, so this shouldn't stick out. But the fact that he did it with Steiny and Schultz, you can tell he hates him, even a year after doing the initial pod with him. And here, maybe Schultz felt like Jeff was taking sides with Steiny.
I would love to see you guys sit down and talk about it.
I would love to see him at like a UFC event and just slap the shit out of him.
Fair.
So, how will Schultz react to this? First, let's address the idea that this is all fake. When I first saw the way Schultz started ranting about Jeff Wittek and the reason he gave for it, it did seem a little random to go after a guy like that who he's actually met before. If this was all fake, it would help to explain why Mark didn't say much, but of course, another explanation is Mark doesn't want to go against his boss. Another thing is, Schultz is pretty savvy when it comes to promotion. After his special that he tricked his fans into buying before shortly releasing it for free on YouTube, he marketed it as too offensive for Netflix when it wasn't. He built up a ton of hype around it and it worked. So after that, I could see this whole thing being another marketing stunt. This seems like exactly the kind of thing he would try and pull off. However, I don't know Jeff Wittek too well. I haven't been following his career for that long, but he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy to fake something like this. I think if this whole thing is real, Schultz would just ignore it. Maybe he'll talk to Jeff behind closed doors so he stops taking shots at him. If Jeff isn't trolling and he really is this upset, I can't see Schultz firing back, but if he does choose to respond, I think he's going to have to go all in and roast him again. But let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this, hit the like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one.